What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports. I'm at you guys with another video. This video I'm here with my LSU versus Alabama Week 11 college football preview and prediction. I'm going to be previewing this matchup and give my prediction for who will win this game. And before I begin, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. Also, make sure to hit the notification button, which is right next to the subscribe button. It will alert you every time I upload a new video. Also, make sure to follow me on my social media pages. My Instagram and Twitter is JTSports_. Links to those will be down in the description down below. So, we have the game of the year. We have number 1 LSU, who is unbeaten, going against 8-0 Alabama, who is ranked number 2 in the nation. Number 1 versus number 2. Now, the stats of a 2 on top of a Lord, before I get into anything, according to Paul Farnball, who was the only legitimate source that I trust, who is pretty legit with his sources, when he says something, it's most likely going to end up being true. So, according to Paul Farnball, and I quote, from the sources that he's heard, the number 1 question I've heard all week is going to be, will Tua play versus LSU and Tuscaloosa? And the answer to that question, Paul Farnball answers, is yes. I'm told by several people in Tuscaloosa that Tua is progressing very, very well. And that was all I was able to find. Now, we obviously know that Tua is going to be 100% going into this game, but he's going to be 70 between 85%, which is good enough to give all Alabama a good shot of being LSU. Now, this is a different LSU team from the last couple of years that we have been accustomed to seeing. Mostly the LSU teams we saw the last couple of years have been good defensively, but really not and when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. But this LSU team is completely different. They're efficient passing the football. They're explosive offense. They can score points in bunches. And I mean, Joe Burrow is a guy who has really, really improved. We knew he was going to improve because last year he was playing his first season of college football as a starter. We knew he was going to improve, but not this much. This guy has improved his accuracy, his decision-making, his footwork in the pocket. Everything has improved. Everything. This guy's a completely different quarterback than what he was last season. This LSU offense is a completely different LSU offense than what we've seen in the past. And this is a very big game. I think this is a must-win. I think Alabama needs to win this game a lot more than what LSU needs to win this game when we're looking at this game in terms of college football playoffs. Now, obviously, we know whoever wins this game is most likely going to end up representing the SEC West and the SEC Championship game, which is most likely going to be against Georgia unless something traumatic happens. But Alabama has to win this game because Alabama has had one of the weakest strength of schedules in all of college football. So if they lose this game, the only team they're going to have left is Auburn. And Auburn has to play Georgia. So if Auburn loses to Georgia, then that's going to drop Auburn a little bit more down in the rankings. And that Auburn win, if Alabama's able to beat Auburn, doesn't look as impressive versus all the other resumes. So this is going to be a must-win game for Alabama because if Alabama loses this game, but Alabama wins out, then they have a good chance of getting into the college football playoffs because, you know, the committee has an SEC bias. But LSU has a little bit more margin of error. If LSU loses this game, they can still get into the college football playoffs. And I think at this point, they're pretty much a lock unless they have a traumatic upset or something like that. A one-loss LSU team, even if they don't make it to the SEC Championship, at this point, guaranteed has to be in the playoffs. I don't care if they get over in the playoffs over a Big 12 champion, a Big 10 champion, a Pac-12 championship. Listen, I don't care. I don't care. Oklahoma or the Big 12 champion is going to be undefeated. The Pac-12 champion is going to be undefeated. So look, if LSU gets in over one of those guys, then I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset they got in over a Big 10 winner. I mean, LSU has had the toughest strength of schedule in the country. They're 3-0 versus the top 10. They beat Texas. They beat Auburn. They beat Florida. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, Texas is garbage. They're not top 10 anymore. Listen, the committee doesn't go by what the team is at the end of the season. The committee goes by how good was that team that you played at the time that you played them. And if you want me to give you a good example, we'll go all the way back to, what was it, 2016, or I think it was 2016, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Alabama scheduled FSU for their season opener. FSU was a top 5 team. FSU, once DeAndre Francois went down, lost the game, and their season just went downhill from there. But the committee didn't look at what FSU's season was after that game. They looked at how good FSU was at the time that Alabama played them. And Alabama had a good win, which at the time was a very good team. So that's what the committee looks at. At least that's what the committee says they look at. That's what the committee has been going with over the last couple of years. They look at how good was that team that you beat at the time that you played them. Same thing with losses. How good was the team that you lost to at the time that you played them? Now, losses is a little bit different because you end up losing to if you end up losing to a good team at that point, but then that team ends up falling down the hill, then that's a disadvantage. But if you beat a team that is ranked top 10 at that point of the season, the committee looks at that as a top 10 team. Same thing with Auburn, same thing with Florida. So LSU, regardless, has 3 top 10 wins. And if they lose Alabama, they'll be 3-1 versus the top 10. You still will have to put them in because they have the best resume in all of college football. And even if they do lose to Alabama, you still will have to put them in. Now, of course, if you put LSU in, they're going to snub a champion. They're going to snub a Big Ten champion. They're going to snub a Pac-12 champion or a Big 12, whoever. They're going to get in on somebody, a fan base. The fan base of the conference is going to be upset or whatever. But listen, LSU has a resume. They played the toughest schedule in college football, and they won their games. And they lose Alabama, a top 3 team. You still have to put them in the college football playoffs with 1 loss because their resume is just that impressive. You cannot, if LSU loses this game, then you cannot exclude them from the college football playoffs. You can't. Now, if LSU wins this game, then of course they're automatically in the college football playoff, regardless of what happens in the conference championship or whatever. But Alabama, if they lose this game, they put themselves in an even bigger hole because then Alabama, if Georgia beats LSU in the SEC championship, if Georgia makes it, then Alabama isn't going to make it. So, I mean, a lot of things has to go in favor if Alabama loses this game, which is why I've been explaining this for the last 4 minutes of this video, why this is a must-win game for Alabama. Because they don't have the resume that LSU has. So, therefore, Alabama has to win this game. So, then, despite the college football factor and then the SEC championship game at State, I mean, we're going to be seeing one of the best secondaries in all college football going against the best receiving core in college football with Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devonta Smith. We're going to be seeing Grant Delpit and Darius Stingley and a bunch of good defensive backs at LSU. Both of those guys will play in this game. According to Ed Edgeron on the radio show, he said that both of those guys, their injuries weren't really that significant and they should be ready to go. So we're going to see a good matchup, a good secondary versus a good wide receiving core. We're going to be seeing 2 Heisman contenders going head-to-head, Joe Burrow versus Tua Tagovailoa. We're going to see 2 of the best teams in college football going head-to-head. This is going to be one of the best games in all college football. It's probably going to be the game of the year. It's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be low scoring, if it's going to be high scoring, but this game is going to be very entertaining. Now, look at them at keys to victory of both these teams to be able to win this game. If you're LSU, you got to be able to stop the run. Because, look, Tua Tagovailoa, he's not going to be fully healthy. He's not going to be 100%. He's going to be between 85% and 70%. And now, since Tua isn't going to be fully healthy, I'm suspecting that Alabama is going to run the football a lot more with Najee Harris compared to how much they will run the football for healthy Tua Tagovailoa. Because, look, you can't go back there and ask Tua Tagovailoa to do what he's been doing all season prior to his injury because he's not going to be fully 100%. So you're going to have to kind of take a little bit of the pressure off of Tua Tagovailoa and rely on Najee Harris in that running game. And the defense is also going to have to play good as well. But if LSU is able to stop the run and LSU gets up big early, then they put a lot more pressure on Tua Tagovailoa to perform and put up good numbers to get Alabama back into that game with his injury. So you're going to have to, so if LSU is able to stop the run and Alabama can't run the football at all, then Alabama's going to have to rely on Tua Tagovailoa, who's going to be injured. Now I know Tua Tagovailoa 70 to 85% healthy. Tua is good enough to start on almost every college football team, but at the end of the day, a player is not going to be at his best when he's not fully 100%. So Tua Tagovailoa has to do a lot. Then that could end up favoring LSU. Because he's not going to be fully healthy. And he's not going to be able to do the things that he would be able to do if he was fully healthy. So if LSU is able to stop the run, then I think Alabama might be in a lot of trouble. The next thing LSU has to be able to do is they have to be able to get stops on third down. Alabama has the second best third down offense in all college football. They're second in college football in third down conversion percentage, converting on 55.2% of their third downs. And LSU's defense is pretty solid. They're 18th in the nation in third down conversions allowed. In the percentage, they're allowing teams to convert on 32% of their third down attempts. So we're going to be seeing a very good third down defense versus a very good third down offense. Now the question is, can LSU get off the field and get their offense back on the field? That's going to be a big question going into this game because of how good Alabama is on third down. And if LSU isn't able to get off the field on third down, then that means that Alabama is going to be able to sustain drives. They're going to be able to control the time possession, and they're going to be able to keep LSU's offense off the field. And most of the time, when we see Alabama dominating in time possession, most of the time Alabama ends up winning the game. So when Alabama is able to control time possession and end up winning the game, most of the games that Alabama wins is because they dominate time possession. When Alabama is able to dominate time possession, most of the time they end up winning the game. So if LSU isn't able to get Alabama off the field on third downs, then Alabama's going to be able to extend the drives. And I don't think I really need to explain how important it is for LSU to get stops on third downs. I think it's pretty obvious that we know if you're not able to stop the team on third down, then most of the time you end up losing the game. Now, for Alabama, they have to protect Tua. Tua is going to be fully healthy, so he's going to have the best pass protection he has had all season because he's not going to be fully healthy. He's not going to be able to extend plays and do the stuff that he's normally able to do compared to when he's fully healthy, compared to him being only between 85 and 70% healthy. So they're going to have to give him great protection. Next, they're going to have to be able to get pressure on Joe Burrow. Now, for this LSU offense, they like to throw the ball. They like to throw the ball, wait for these deep passing routes, these deep vertical routes to develop, wait for these routes across the field to develop. If you're Alabama, you're going to have to get pressure on Joe Burrow. You're going to have to force him to get the ball out fast, right? Now, here's why, right? Now, if they're able to get pressure on Joe Burrow, right? Like Auburn, for example. Auburn, they didn't have a lot of sacks, but they were able, their defensive line was able to get pressure on Joe Burrow and force Joe Burrow to get the ball out quick. And that's why Auburn's defense kept LSU to probably their lowest scoring performance all season. And probably their most lackluster performance on the offensive side of the ball compared to what LSU has been doing all season. So Auburn has kind of gave the blueprint to how to stop this LSU offense. And I mean, that's pretty much football 101. If you're able to get pressure on the quarterback and force the quarterback to get the ball out quick, then you don't allow for those deep vertical passing routes to develop downfield. I think that's pretty much football 101. We already know if the quarterback doesn't have a lot of time to drop back and throw the ball, then you don't give the wide receivers a lot of time to get those big vertical routes down the field to develop. So that's pretty much football 101. So if Alabama is able to get pressure on Joe Burrow, then they have a good chance to win this game. And the last thing that Alabama has to be able to do to win this game, I think this might be the most important. They have to stop LSU inside the red zone. Now, Alabama is 43rd in the country at red zone defense versus LSU, who is 5th in the nation at red zone offense. So when LSU gets inside the red zone, most of the time they're scoring a touchdown. So that's going to be the difference between this game. This has been the difference, and a lot of these LSU and Alabama games has been what these teams have been able to do inside the red zone. So if Alabama is allowing LSU to score touchdowns instead of field goals, then that's going to be able to favor LSU. So Alabama has to be able to get LSU walking away with 3 points instead of 7 points. Now, that's it for my keys to victory. So the team I'm going with to win this game, I'm going with LSU. I think LSU wins this game 31 to 27. I think this is LSU's year. I really do. I think LSU, they have the offense. When we look at the past couple of matches, the reason why LSU has lost this game is because they weren't able to do enough on the offensive side of the ball. They were getting stops on defense, but they were not able to put up enough points and be able to sustain enough offense to beat Alabama. Now they have a legit offense. They can run the football. They can pass the football. So this offense now, we know how good this defense is. This offense can put up points. And so can Alabama's. But I don't think this Alabama defense hasn't been as good as what it has been over the last couple of seasons. And Alabama fans will tell you this. Alabama fans will tell you that this defense isn't as good as what it has been in the past. And I think that's also going to be an advantage. Also, Tua is going to be fully healthy. So I think this game could go either way. But I think LSU wins this game 31-27 at Alabama. And LSU wins this game. They clinch the spot in the college football playoff, clinch the spot in the SEC championship game, and they beat Alabama 31-27. That's my final score prediction. So let me know who you guys think ends up winning this game down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos, and thanks for watching.